To talk about qualifications for this job, you talk first about what a county commissioner does. They're responsible for overseeing budget, taxation, staffing levels, implementation of special projects, and basically the overall functioning of the county. What I do in my business life is I have been a business owner for over a decade. I own a medical device consulting firm. In that, I use my background in engineering, which I have a master's degree in engineering, and we help work with companies to develop medical device products. Now, in that, my key role is working as a project manager and in strategic planning. So you're overseeing budget, resources, how to get things done, how to set goals, how to make sure things get done on time. Overall, it's very much similar to what is done here at the Scott County Board. And I think given my background with that in business and with the technical side in engineering, as well as my work in the community, where I've served on boards at both at the school, the city, and the county level, I think that qualifies me to be a very good candidate for Scott County Commissioner. I actually believe that county government does work. In general, in the state of Minnesota, I think the government in Scott County itself works well. I think as you get to local governments, each local government branch has a role, whether it's counties, cities, townships, and I do think that here things are done exceptionally well, and I highly credit that to the exceptional staff here at the county. For our district here in Shakopee, things that are really on the high priority list are those focused on roads and transportation and how that couples with economic development. Those are important issues across the county, but I think for our district it's one of those things that we really need to focus on and help facilitate as much as possible. Commissioner Menden mentioned today and in our other forum that bigger isn't better, and he's talking about basically what he said is Scott County and Shakopee have already gotten too big and shouldn't get any bigger. And you know, growth is going to happen, and growth is going to happen because there is a good quality of life here. And we need to look at how we continue that to improve our communities for those as we continue to grow, because we will continue to grow. And it's a positive thing. It reflects very good on our communities. People want to live here. It's a good place to live. And I have gotten so many comments in the last few days of people truly offended by some of those comments because the new people have contributed so much to our towns.
So I don't see near the stuff coming in front of the county board as, you know, that pertains to Shakopee as like the townships. But I mean, one thing about I mean, townships, like I said, I like their government. I'm not going to vote, you know, if the township doesn't agree to it, I don't agree to it.
I have a good example of a place where you can be an advocate for your community. Right now, you look at Shakopee itself, it's looking at likely having a second high school in a few years. Still, plans are still being worked out, but right now, a lot of the locations that they have identified as potential are on county roads. Well, how does that matter? Well, kids have to walk long distances to school for a high school. I think the walking distance is 1.5 miles at this point. Those roads don't have good shoulders. They're more rural style roads. They don't have walking paths, that type of thing. And those are the kinds of discussions from a representative of a district to be sitting down having with the city and the school boards in the county just to make sure that access is appropriate, the roads are set up, because all of those entities do have some role to play in how that gets established as it actually happens.
Scott County Board has experienced a significant amount of conflict over the past year. What are you doing now, and what would you do in the future to improve relations with the other board members? And what would you do to promote a positive culture here at Scott County?
Well, first, to be honest with you, it kind of bugs me that you keep bringing it up. I mean, it's like the other day, too, at the debate. I mean, this is over with. It's done. We're moving on. But you guys don't leave it die. I mean, I don't understand why we should keep bringing this up.
It keeps coming up because it costs the taxpayers a lot of money. It took a lot of time from the county. It was a huge distraction for everyone at the county. It was an embarrassment from the citizens, the activities of the last year. And honestly, at its base issue, the reason why it will continue to be an issue if there isn't a change in leadership is no one's taken responsibility. Now, I think one of the things that I can truly bring to this position is I've been in many boardrooms and many meetings where people don't agree. They come from different backgrounds, different areas. But I am a consensus builder. And I think a lot of it comes not from having exactly the same viewpoint, but being respectful and thoughtful in the discussions. With Commissioner Menden, he's clearly said several times that his issues in moving to fire Gary Shelton had to do with personal issues, things like that. things that happened in the past. I can tell you as a citizen, and I can tell you as a taxpayer, my issue is I want to know if the county administrator is doing their job. And by all indications from all of the various job performance measures over time, he was doing his job. And so bringing in personal issues and biases and using that as a reason to try and fire somebody is inappropriate and is an unbelievable lack of leadership.
Commissioner Menden, you stated that we have too many employees and too many supervisors.
I got, and I'm not mentioning names, but I mean, at home, I was just looking through different things, and from my experience from back when I was here, you know, where I think, God, we don't need that person, we don't need that. And if you start to talk to different employees, you know, they come up with ideas too.
I just think it can't be a static thing that we don't need this or we don't need that. You do need to continually evaluate it. And as I understand it, if you look at the situation at the county here, there are several key retirements coming up in the next few years. And these are people with, you know, decades of experience and things like that. That expertise and some of that skill set that's here needs to be passed along as we bring in new people.
Dave, you refused to participate in the appraisal of the county administrator. Is this a legitimate duty of a county commissioner?
Well, I guess I just didn't at that time, because I knew it'd be an issue, and I knew the news media would make it an issue, because it's public. So I just figured that if I can't say something decent, I didn't want to say anything at all. I left it at that.
Yep.
My only comment would be, as I said when I was first starting, what does a county commissioner do? And one of the jobs is overseeing staffing. And the only person that is a direct report to the county board is for the county administrator. And if you can't comment on the job performance, because that's what's at issue, that's what the citizens want to know, is the job being done. Again, I find that as a lack of leadership.
Why do we need a change in commissioner? And why should we support your candidacy as commissioner? Please add any additional comments.
I do think it's just time for some new leadership at the county board level. I think we've spoken about a number of the issues I think were highlighted already today. I think we need to improve dynamic and just improve leadership on the board. I believe that my work experience, both in business and my technical experience and my activity in the community, really prepares me to be a great representative. I have a background that reflects many different sides. The business piece, I can understand budgets and resources. The technical side, I can understand roads and I can understand watersheds. And then my involvement in the community. A lot of my involvement in the community is focused on the schools today because my kids are young, and I think it's very important to do that. And I'm thoroughly enjoyed that. And I would really, really welcome the opportunity now to take an expanded role in the community, to use my expertise and my background to work with the citizens or represent the citizens of Scott County on the county board. Thank you.
Thanks.